Hey, what's going on YouTube? Random Millennial here. Just trying to update everyone, trying to update myself. Oh my god, I have to really start getting used to, looking at the camera rather than looking at my face in the phone. But yeah, uh, what is this? Like day 6? This is essentially day 6 of this onset Jurassicophobia, depression, all of this, and really thinking about it, I don't know. I've probably gone in circles and circles, thought about everything possible, thought about all the generic hallmark sayings um, that people use to comfort themselves, comfort others. Uh, I really wish that I wasn't as logical of a human being, at least that I perceive myself to be, so that I can just jump on one of these like sayings uh, to you know turn the corner on this whole situation. But I actually spoke with a friend, and they said, with how logical you are, uh, if you try to just pretend everything will be fine and just like self convince yourself, um, it might do a lot of more damage, in the future, even if it were to work for the time being. And honestly, I realized like the best thing I can hope for is not only to get through this myself with everyone watching, but also you know it can serve as a way for others to kind of compare and contrast and see what they're going for through, because uh, as a whole, generically, like big picture, it's depression. Mine specifically stemmed from the fear of growing old, um, and I've put a lot of thought into it. Even more, I mean, we're talking about 6 days now. So, for obviously, there are people who go through depression or go through whatever, and it's a lifelong thing. You have good days, you have bad days. But yeah, so I really thought about just a multitude of things, and now at this point, you just have to. I'm trying to think how to best word this, because it might all stem from not using your time wisely, thinking you're wasting your time because your time is limited. Uh, but how do we solve that, right? Um, Staying active, um, always being productive, or at least giving yourself the feeling of production, is probably really, really important, right? And then the less time you have to yourself when you are just leaving your mind unchecked, going through, oh my god, I need a fucking haircut. But going through, tough times and all these like rough scenarios, like good luck, right? So yeah, I guess that's part of it. Trying to stay active and stuff, but it's like the world we live in now, COVID, everything as a whole. I don't want to blame it on any one factor, right? But everything as a whole, it just makes it tough. Um, if anything, we might be in a scenario where it's not necessarily, it's no, it may or may not, this because it could also be true, but it's not a like a Great Depression in the sense of something economic or financial. It could be still, like we don't know how the future will play out, but we only have what we believe, our estimates, our educated guesses. But it seems emotional. I think a lot of people are hit in different ways, and you're left to yourself to be really introspective. Everybody's like environment, circumstances are different, but uh, yeah, I mean, I think for me, uh, I just I think I was at a turning point where I just needed a spark for my mind to light the fire and have everything I've bottled up unconsciously and everything I process consciously, and just put me in this like spiraling rabbit hole of what now turns out to be, depression. It's really fucked. It's tough. I'm telling, like I said in the last video, man, if there's any good comes from this, it's also that I can be empathetic towards those who do have this problem. And I'm going to be honest with you. Right now, the way I'm processing, the way I've thought about everything is, you know, forget about the statistics that you get. The ones I even told you last time, like the 1 in 10 with antidepressants, or the 15% of Americans, whatever, that have gone through depression. That's horseshit, right? Obviously, people don't wear depression on on a sleeve, like, hey, this guy has it, this guy has it, that guy has it. But everyone, I firmly believe, after my rationalization and everything I've been thinking about, everyone has depression at some level. It can honestly be something where you get over it very quickly, for you know in comparison as a whole. Um, when you're sad about something or you're feeling grief about something, you know, once a time factor is involved, I believe it's depression. I believe it's like, if it's not just a passing thought, if it's something that it takes time for you to process, then you've had depression. Um, and obviously there's a whole spectrum of that, right? And hopefully it's not severe. Hopefully it's something that you can work through, or you have support around you that can work through it. But yeah, I think for me it's helpful to think about it in that sense. I just know, hey, everybody has it on some level. Because if you think about it, like, if you just try to do research online, and one of the first things you're going to look at is, hey, uh, is depression curable? And I'm sorry to say, no, not even. Uh, the the textbook ABC answer you'll get is, the goal of treating depression is to have it, um, to have you go through remission. For it to be something that's just like not at the forefront of your life, of your thoughts, controlling your everyday actions. Really, they're just a non, like, to just hibernate it, to hide it away. And then you obviously like, well, if you bottle up your emotions, you hide your emotions. That's never good for you. But honestly, not all emotions are good. Uh, but they're not always one or the other at a certain time, right? Just because you're sad, it doesn't mean it's bad. There, you could have like tears of joy, whatever the case may be. But just for those out there that maybe believe they have depression, or it's the onset and they're just like freaking out because they're doing all this research, WebMD and all this stuff, and they're like, oh my god, it's never gonna go away. This is with me forever. Yeah, that's something I really think about, and I thought about it, and then I realized, that's everyone. Everyone goes through it, uh, and it's at different levels. So if you're like me and you're hyper rational, or you like to believe you are, uh, if you know that everyone is going through it, everyone, it's not a statistical number where a certain amount of the population is. You have to realize that that's a certain amount of the population. That's part of studies that's been reported, right? Nobody has gone out and surveyed the population as a whole, right? It's just not. We make educated guesses and numbers, but you realize that there are also things where if it's a little taboo or if it's something you don't, you know, it's not looked on in a good light, you're not exactly going to advertise that you have whatever the situation is, X, Y, and Z, you know? And yeah, that's probably one step that's really helped me. Um, definitely not being alone as much as possible. You will have these moments where, you know, you might not even be thinking about it at the forefront because you're trying so hard to distract yourself, but you're alone, whether or not it's in your home or wherever it is, right? And you just have no outlet. Sometimes it's not as useful to, you know, verbalize and contextualize and talk and reason with yourself in your head or even out loud by yourself. The extra perspective and the level of comfort that you would get is life changing. It's so important. I really believe that. Um, yeah. So if those are two things that, you know, I don't want to make this video too long, but two things that definitely help. Um, one, the realization that the whole population, we as people, have depression, um, one form or another. You know, some bad, some good, but it's normal. Two, to have friends, family, support around you, um, that you can talk to about this. They can bounce ideas off, or even just, you know, you can talk about random shit, you know, just to give you that brief relief. And those two things are on a list of a lot of things that can help you. Um, I'll probably go through uh, quite a few more, all of them, depending if I, you know, how thorough I want it to be documented, but also if people are interested, you know. Oh, apparently I'm supposed to. Okay, because it's not really why I'm doing these YouTube videos anyway. But to do the YouTube, you know, close out whatever, don't forget to like the video and subscribe. I'm obviously I'm guessing it helps because every single YouTuber with any channel, any whatever, will say these same exact lines. So I'm gonna hop on the bandwagon on that. And of course, if you are going through anything and you need more support than you're able to, um, feel free to, you know, comment. Um, you can be it can be as little or as ambiguous as you want it to be, or as thorough as you want it to be. Definitely, just don't be afraid of that kind of stuff. And I'll definitely get back. I'll definitely respond. And you know, for people going through tough times, we'll get through them. We don't have a choice in the matter, you know. So let's do it as efficiently as possible. Have a nice day, YouTube.